Good evening, Jukeboxers, and welcome to a brand new episode of Lear's Ivy Jukebox. First of all, how are you all? I must apologise for the slight delay on this episode due to the fact I was away on holiday, recharging my batteries, much needed, in Tenerife, and working, obviously, as well, go straight back into work. It has been a bit of a busy week, so I've had to delay the episode for a couple of days, but it's finally here. So, in this episode, I am going to be talking about, now, you may have seen on Instagram during the week, I did a big, massive post about Drag Race with all the different areas of Drag Race around the world. It's called Drag Race, this episode is called Drag Race 2022 in Review. So there are lots of things to talk about. I'm going to be talking about not only Drag Race in the US, I'm going to be talking about UK, España, Italia, Down Under, Philippines, France. There is a plethora, Canada as well. There is a plethora of Drag Race at the moment. It's Drag Race fever. 2022 is probably one of the biggest years of Drag Race at the minute, at the moment. And I think 2023 is going to be even bigger again with more recent incarnations of Belgium and Drag Race Sweden, which will be starting in a few weeks' time. But I'll be talking about that more at the end. So many new versions are keeping popping up, and many new versions are incredibly successful. The fans are enjoying the new versions. Now, at the moment, there has been no updates on Holland just yet, as of yet, for Series 3, but given the fact that Holland is quite a small country, they're probably waiting maybe a year or two, to bring out a next season. So that's understandable as well. Hopefully late 2023, early 2024, hopefully. There is more Drag Race to come. There's going to be Drag Race from Germany. Drag Race is going to be coming up in Germany, Brazil, very many other areas where I am looking forward to seeing the art form that is drag, how each country is different. And that is why I'm enjoying a lot of the international versions, because outside of the US, because the US I sort of have a rough idea that each state has like its own aesthetic, as it says. Now in the US, I'm probably should be getting a slap on the wrist. I know RuPaul probably would give me a good old traditional slap, which for many queens is a badge of honour. I'm currently on season 13. I'll tell you why. There's been so many versions that came out. I have been falling behind on the actual main US series. But I've watched season 13, which has been an amazing season. I've enjoyed watching Rose, got Mick, Candy Muse, Utica, and the winner Simone, who are just some fine examples of how good Drag Race actually is. And the standard just gets higher and higher. And also Olivia Lux, very, very polite queen as well. But it's shown the excellence of drag and art. And one of my favourite episodes of that particular season was the Snatch Game. Probably one of the stronger Snatch Games I've seen in recent years. There's been other years where it's just been like, I could sort of scoot past it. But this one was generally very, very good. And I really, really enjoyed watching this season. So it was absolutely fantastic. And I enjoyed the roast. The fact that RuPaul roasted a queen in the process. Chef's kiss. That was really good. But now I'm on the finale. So season 14 will be up and coming. We'll be in another episode at another time. One of the things of the US, so I'm starting with the USA first in America. One of my favourite seasons was All-Star 7. Now, All-Star 7 was a bit of a different All-Stars. Usually, All-Stars when old queens come back, but these queens have already won. So when you have queens who have won a previous season, are bringing it to the table every single week. It was the one season I could say that all of them were excellent. I would be happy with the outcome of any winner. I really enjoyed Snatch Game, Masterclass from Trinity, Masterclass from Jinx Monsoon as Judy Garland. Phenomenal. Just phenomenal. That, if any drag queen wants to look for inspiration on how to do Snatch Game correctly, just look at Jinx Monsoon, look at Trinity the Tuck as Leslie Jordan and the Devil. Someone who does the Devil and gets away with that, brilliant. The standard was unbelievably high, but one of my favourite moments of that season was the joke they started doing with the Platinum Plunger. Now, the Platinum Plunger, the winner of the lip sync of the previous week, usually the first two winners got a legendary legend star. They were fighting for stars. Basically, it was a point system. But you can get the platinum plunger, you're blocking someone from getting a star. You are basically preventing them from getting ahead of you in the competition. So it is a little bit of a go between. I really enjoyed it. We had two winners. You had Jinx Monsoon, who was crowned Queen of Queens, deservedly so on the actual competition as a whole, but on that final lip sync, I am really sorry to say this. This might sound controversial, but Monet X Change at that lip sync. She spat it out. I watched that back a few times and I was thinking, the right two were in the top two, but I think she was the superior performer. So she was a worthy runner-up. But I think if it was down to the lip sync, Jinx might have just lost out on the crown because of that. Now, the lip sync for the crown format, I am a little bit dubious with this format because I think there should have been either a final challenge rather than a lip sync for the crown. But I'm glad the bottom four also got, the four that were eliminated for the crown, got to lip sync for another, the Queen of, she already had hers, which Raja rightfully won, was really, really good. It was between her and Evie for that crown, and a cash prize of $50,000. Man, $50,000, what I would do with 50 grand, let alone 200 grand as well. But the fact of the matter is, I actually felt, you know, the lip syncs were all good, but I felt the bottom four lip syncs were better than I think the ones that were going for the, because I think they were just really just living for the moment. But there were so many good moments, so many hilarious moments, including Shay mocking Monet's walk. I had to watch that over and over again because it was just like, walking like this, you know, it's like brilliant, just brilliant. So moving from the US and moving over to the UK. Now, UK season 4, I am going to be doing another video in more detail about this, but probably for me one of the strongest casts ever in the UK franchise currently. 12 outstanding queens, 12 very strong queens, all had a great story, really good narration. I really enjoyed this, and they were very smart queens as well. The final four of John Burrs, Black Pepper, Cheddar Gorgeous, and Danny Beard. I felt the right four were in the top four. The right four were in the top four. And the top two was probably one of the strongest top twos I've seen. It's the strongest top two in the UK, definitely. But the strongest top two I think I've seen among the whole franchise. You know, you have all these different queens who come in. I haven't seen a strong top two like that since probably in a long time, like Brooklyn Heights and Evie Oddly, and Manila Luzon and Manila Luzon and Raja as the top two. That's just examples. Or Marina Summers and Precious Paolo Nicole. Paolo Nicole was another example as well of a strong top two as well. But all with that being said, all the queens that were in season 4 were outstanding. Although I do think UK should start awarding Miss Congeniality. Another version doesn't, so I think they should do that. But in a few weeks' time, I'll be doing a full episode of the 10 weeks that I watched as well. Now, in case you're wondering, I have a piece of paper, but that's just to keep me right with the notes as well. Then we move on to Viva la France. So, Drag Race France came on in June, to the end of June, and was hosted by season 12 Drag Race alumni Nikki Doll. Nikki Doll was some of the queens who have been in the past presenting the actual show but never been a winner, like Brooklyn Heights doing Canada, Rita Baga doing Belgium, Nikki Doll doing France. Nikki Doll has proven her worth in gold in this. She was funny, she was on point, very supportive. I think a queen who is hosting this, who has been through that process, I think has a little bit of an advantage of knowing like what the queens will want, what the queens would want to do and what they want to prove. There was 10 very different queens. You have Lolita Banana. There's a few that have stuck out for me, like Big Bertha, Lolita Banana. They're basically this top 5. La Grande Dame, Soy de Muse, and Paloma were all brilliant to watch. The 10 queens were brilliant, and the top 3, I felt the final 3 were very interesting because it was a very diverse top 3, which is what I love. I love seeing what 3 different characters that brought it to the table. They had comedy, they had style, they had look after look. Right, in Soy de Muse's case, she had the dancing skills, the talent, but also as well, she had the comedy. She had the narration. I felt she was the narrator of the season. Paloma was a worthy winner. La Grande Dame, oh my god, she just was like a tall glass of water. And I was like, holy moly. I was like thinking, I would look small compared to her. I would look small compared to probably a lot of fans. But I'm now excited for season 2. I'm actually excited to see what more is to come from season 2. So it was a great season. Now I'm going to jump to Viva España, where I live. Yes! Season 2, probably this is my favourite season of the year. Probably I've seen. Outstanding. All the queens were amazing. The top 4 were outstanding. My jaw had hit the floor so many times during that season. I understood most of it because it's, as I said, what better way to study Spanish than watch a bunch of drag queens, that sort of thing. But I've been living in Spain for 10 years. Maybe I have a little bit of a soft spot for Spain, but from start to finish, I love the fact that the likes of Supreme Deluxe, who is the Spanish RuPaul, Supreme Deluxe, is so supportive, as well as the panel. I think that's what I love about the panel. I love the panel in Spain. They're very supportive. And their critiques are actually really fair. And it's not, and I like the way when the lip syncs, at the end of lip syncs, they actually have voting cards. So they tot up the votes to decide, right, that who goes, who stays. My friend, one of my best friends from Barcelona, Ed, and we talk about this all the time. And it was a pleasure to meet Arantxa Castilla-La Mancha in Barcelona in November. That was an absolute pleasure to meet her. And it's funny how my best friend actually uses the tourist card on me. I've been to Barcelona a few times, so it's not like it's the first time I've been there. That sort of thing. But it's the first time I've been in an arena in Spain, watching a show. Went to see Trixie and Katya live. Brilliant show. Fantastic. But phenomenal. And I love Llame Cielo, which is the top 4 single for the finale as well. So probably for me, one of the best outside of the US, probably one of the best in Europe as well. Then we have Canada. Season 3 kept getting better. We had likes of Giselle Lullaby, not Isis Couture, I beg your pardon, Kimmy Couture, Isis's daughter, Jada Sheeda Hudson, Vivian Vanderpuss, Irma Gard, who I loved. I love the fact there's a Newfie queen finally coming in. I love the fact that this cast particularly were all widespread. They weren't just like Toronto. They weren't just Vancouver. They weren't just one or two areas. It was spread across the board. Loved it. That was one thing. Shella's on the Roof from Saskatoon. You have all these different areas. I do apologise if I mispronounce any of the words as well. But it was a really tough cast in the sense that they brought it every week. And I was thinking, you sort of knew who was in trouble, but I was thinking, could the runway save them? That sort of thing. Vivian Vanderpuss was a worthy Miss Congeniality, even though I thought Irma Gard had got it because it was put online, but I would have been happy for a double Miss Congeniality because Irma and Vivian were just hilarious to watch and brilliant to do. The House of Couture has been successful again. First a winner, now a runner-up. So is the House of Couture one of the highest regarded houses in the Drag Race franchise? Who knows? But I think it is. I really loved the runways in this one. You had the elements runway, the scientific elements runway. Bombay's look, wow. Giselle's look, with all, you had all these like different things like oxygen, lithium, gold, it's like superb. And then when they did like the artist's runway, Fierce Delicious look with the swinging woman, Irma Gard's like pop art, like Picasso style dress. Oh my god. There's so many good examples showing great evolution. And the thing is, I'm actually glad to see Brooklyn Heights taking more of a leading role now. I've seen the progression in the seasons where they had guest hosts in season 1, and then season 2 you had, like for example, when it's time to come lip sync for your life, the judges took turns, whereas this year it was all Brooklyn. So really superb job. And for anyone who's watching this video, go back a few episodes. I've done a review on Canada versus the World, which was superb. Now, Down Under, huge step up from season 1. I felt there's maybe some areas of production need a bit of work, but that's maybe just aesthetic, really. The cast were so diverse, hilarious to watch. Spanky Jackson, love. Anaconda, love. Queen Kong love, Molly Poppins, Uruguay, Minnie Cooper. There is such a long list here, and it is such a diverse cast. My favourite was Bosom Buddies and the Advert Challenge. How someone can make such a small place, and she's Spanky making her proud A.F. roots. She's proud as F about her roots. I'm not going to swear in this video, but she's proud of who she is, and I just love the video. I was in stitches the whole way through, and I think that it was a brilliant challenge. And the Bosom Buddies, well, the top three who were in the top group were the top three overall. It was excellent, and I hope it even elevates further when it returns for season 3 later this year. Philippines. Wow, the Philippines was probably, for me, the biggest surprise of them all. Having Jiggly Caliente on the panel, who's another Drag Race alum, and really shown how good of a queen she is and how understanding she is. The cast throughout were so strong. I couldn't pick a favourite, but if I had to, I loved Eva La Queen. The top four, I just loved in general. I loved the whole cast. I felt I could relate most to Silhouette. Silhouette was, I think, had the biggest story to tell, and being so open and honest and frank, loved it. And I think that's what made it good. And I love Mama Pao. I think the way Paolo Ballesteros, who is the Filipino RuPaul, basically given their advice, and the critiques I think were very fair, and they were firm but fair. Again, that element, like Spain, has that effect, and it gets me very, very excited. And that finale was amazing. The lip syncs were on point. Marina Summers, one to watch. She is one to watch. She was the worthy runner-up, but to Precious Paolo Nicole, who's a beautiful queen, beautiful person, cheeky but lovely. And at the minute with Italia, I'm actually catching up because I fell so far behind, but I'm catching up on the season 2, which the lovely Aura Eternal and Nahalina, I hope I've got that right, have put me in their stories. I cannot appreciate that enough, and it's the same with Spanky Jackson as well from Down Under, and other queens who liked it, who've made comments. Really appreciate it. It is very much, I want people to know, I appreciate drag as an art form, and these queens deserve respect. I could not do what they do, but I love the entertainment value. I love learning their stories. I love learning their journeys as an LGBTQIA plus person, and also how much happiness it brings. Italia, the standard is so high. You can see that I've seen the difference between season 1 and season 2 immediately, and I'm excited to watch the rest of the season. Only a few episodes in, and I'm really enjoying it so far. And I'm hoping, there might be a special video later on to sort of explain how I felt about Italia season 2, but it's so far so good. Okay, so that is it. So I hope you've really enjoyed that video, and I hope you've enjoyed watching it. Now, also, as I say, respect the queens everywhere. Everyone has their favourites. Everyone knows drag as an art form. And also stay tuned in 2023, because we now have Drag Race Belgium. We're going to have Drag Race Sweden coming up in March, and there's more to come. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I am Liam. I'm over and out. Gotta go. Bye.